In Tableau 23.1, Tableau have improved a few capabilities with the input step in Tableau Prep. If you want to follow along, just open the sample flow when you open up Tableau Prep and it will load up this particular flow. If I go to the orders input here at the top and I just bring this up, you might have noticed in the last few releases that Tableau Prep has been sort of getting a little bit of an enhancement in terms of the user interface, a few changes here and there. But fundamentally in this release, one of the things you can now do, this used to drive me absolutely crazy. You can now hold Shift and select multiple items at once. So I don't know what I actually did there. I did something very different there. Let me just try that again. Let's select order date, hold Shift, select customer ID, and it did. I did something then, it selected the whole column, so maybe that's a small bug, but nonetheless, you can select a bunch of fields, right click, and you can remove them. And notice when you remove them, it crosses them out. And if you're not familiar with Tableau Prep, anytime you do anything like that, it actually applies a change to the step. So you can see here, there's a change. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. And when we select that, you can see the items have been removed. And if you want to undo that, you can of course just go here and hit the X and it will basically remove those changes. The other way you could do that, let's say you select 4 and you only want to remove 1. Let's go ahead and remove all 4 again. If I move my face to the left, if you go to this changes column, what you can actually do is you can actually undo this change. But what this change does is it remembers everything that was done in that step. So if we right click and remove, notice it removes all the other 4 as well. That's not what I was expecting. Honestly, I'd expected just to remove that one item from that change, if that makes sense. But nonetheless, maybe that's something coming in the future. So it's a really nice quality of life improvement. The other improvement in this release is with date, actually. If you go to the order date, what you can do is you can right click and you can filter. And there's 2 ways you can filter. You can do a calculation, which allows you to type whatever calculation you want. And then if you right click order date, go back to filter, you can actually use relative dates. This is allowing you to essentially pre-filter based on a bunch of dates at input. Now, the reason this is because in essence, up until now, Tableau Prep, when you connect to any data source, let's say you connect to Salesforce. Salesforce is the big talk at the moment. Now, Salesforce has literally benefits from this release in so many ways. If you've ever connected to the opportunity table in Salesforce, it's just full of absolutely hundreds of useless fields. Some fields will never get used because an organization doesn't actually use them. And the other thing is there's just hundreds of dates. So like whenever you look at any Salesforce data set, there's just dates everywhere. There's history date, change date, opportunity creation date, last edit date, last modified date, last access date, just dates galore. So depending on your criteria, what you want to be able to do is to filter to a specific time range. And what that does is that later on in the flow, when you're working with your data, because you filtered at the start, you're working with a much smaller subset. So what this change has the effect of doing is it makes it easier for you to have a more performant flow long term because you're already filtering everything out at the very beginning, which means that Tableau Prep doesn't consider it in the flow as it's processing your data set. Up until this change, people would have to essentially put in a clean step, which is what you've got here. They'd do all their data prep in the clean step, and then from then on they'd go. But at that point, the data's already all coming into the flow, and it's already sort of slowing you down. So quick one. 75% of people watching the video right now, at least in the last 90 days, aren't subscribed. Over the last year, it's 80%, even bigger. So I'd really appreciate your help hitting that sub button so we can push forward. Unfortunately, the subscriber count is the measure that some organizations look at, and those organizations are going to help bring this content to another level. So I really want your help to help push this channel to the next level. Let's carry on. This is a really nice quality of life improvement specifically for the input step. I'm now going to make another video about the column row order. I'm going to do that as a separate video because it's a bit of a philosophical feature as well as just a new feature we should talk about. So go ahead and check out that video. And yeah, check out all the other videos that I've made on 23.1 and many other releases over the last couple of years. I'll catch you in the next one.